Hey guys, today I want to talk about being a picky eater in the Philippines. And if there's one thing that's very hard in this country is being a picky eater, because I'm I'm like a germophobic, number one, which means if I see something that doesn't sit right with me in a restaurant, it's dirty, the floors are dirty, it doesn't look cleanliness, the bathroom's filthy. That's kind of a turnoff to me and a sign that it's not a good place to eat. And places in the Philippines have different sanitary conditions that are different for us from the US, where we have certain conditions we have to meet or they'll close you down. And they have that here too, don't get me wrong. But some places get away with things that you wouldn't get away with in the United States here. That's one thing. Also, sometimes when you go to some of the supermarkets here, and when I first came here, one of the supermarkets here was horrendous. I'm not going to mention their name, but it was horrendous because when you went up to the section that sold meat, it smelled like a decomposing corpse. That's how bad the smell was. Yet people were going up there buying meat like, oh, this is great, this doesn't matter. Yet for me, I wouldn't buy there. Instead, I went to one of their competitors and went there because the competitor was clean and it was on par with going into a United States supermarket and walking up to the deli and saying, hey, I want this or that, whatever you need. I want a pound of hamburger or what have you. I want some pork chops, whatever you want. But here, you walk into some places and it's really different. The restaurants here, the Filipino restaurants, for me, number one, I don't like Filipino food. I'm not a big fan of Filipino food. Some people say, well, geez, Steve, that must be really hard living in the Philippines, not eating Filipino food. No, Western foods in almost every country are pretty much readily available anywhere. You can get them probably, here we got tons of places here. McDonald's, we got Chili's, we got Texas Roadhouse, we got Italian food, we got pizza, we have KFC, we've got Kenny Rogers, we have Burger King, we got Wendy's. A lot of those places are fast food, but they also have regular restaurants like Kenny Rogers. They have pretty healthy foods. They have healthy food choices. We have Subway that you can go in and get a salad or something like that that's fairly healthy. As far as being picky here, for me, I have to shop around a little bit more. I go to S&R probably more than the average person. A lot of the expats over here don't go to S&R that often. I probably go about once every 2 or 3 months, okay? And I go there and I probably spend somewhere about $600 there. I just grab a bunch of stuff that I need, stuff that lasts, canned foods. I buy a lot of fresh foods there. I buy alcohol there because it's cheaper, even though I don't drink. For my friends, if they drop by, I give them a drink or whatever. A lot of stuff I get there. I get cereals, nuts. You can get all sorts of relish, mayonnaise. And you can get the brand names that you have back home at S&R and also at Landers too. You can get the same thing. You can buy in bulk. And that's a good thing about going to those places. You buy in bulk, you're actually saving a little bit of money. But here's the thing about the Philippines is most of the supermarkets here, you'll go there and shop. And if you're trying to make something, let's say you're trying to make oatmeal cookies or something like that, you're going to have to shop around. And sometimes some of those things you can get online, like molasses, stuff like that. You can get all that stuff online. You can buy a lot of stuff online because you can't find all the ingredients that you need in some supermarkets here. Let's say you wanted to make fish and you needed lemon herb seasoning. Some of these supermarkets won't sell that, but you can go online and you can find it maybe on Lazada or something like that. There's a lot of little tiny things that you can't get here, but you can, if you seek it out and you really shop around and you're a good shopper, you can find it here. But as far as like my girlfriend will cook whatever I want. She'll cook me hot dogs, she'll cook me a steak, she'll cook me chicken, she'll cook me just about anything I want. If I tell her, hey, can you cook this for me, honey? She'll cook it for me, or I can cook it myself. And I don't have a problem with that, but she's she does almost all the cooking here, and she'll make me whatever I want, even though I'm a picky eater. Now, I'm a person that if you see me eating anything at your house, that means I consider you to be a very clean person. And some people I won't eat over the house just because I don't know them well enough. You know, it's not something to be insulted by. And some people get insulted when you won't eat over their house. It's just me. Some people, I don't know you well enough or whatever. But if I do eat at your house, you can know that I trust you. I trust your cleanliness. I trust your cooking. And there's not many people that I do. And it doesn't mean I don't like you or anything like that. It just means that I'm very picky. That's the way I was built. And I've probably gotten a little bit worse over here as far as my pickiness for many reasons. I went to a burger place. I won't say who it was. Well, because of legal reasons, obviously. I'll just say that I went to one of the big chains. And I walked in there. It was in Makati. And I got sick. And I got really sick. And I had to go to the hospital. And what's funny is we went there probably like 6 months to a year later. And I got sick again. And after that, I said, I will never go to that same place. I've eaten at other franchises. And I've always been fine eating there. Okay, but this particular franchise, I don't know who they had employed there. I didn't find the place super clean, but it was kind of borderline. And when I ate there, I said, this restaurant's kind of borderline. You know, the bathroom's filthy. The floors were kind of gross. The people that were there were kind of goofing around. There was nobody else in the restaurant. I just didn't find like they were very serious about they didn't seem very serious about their jobs, like they really cared. I had walked into the restaurant, and as soon as I went in there, I could feel something was up. But I ordered food. I was hungry. It was the only place around. It was early in the morning when we went there, and I couldn't believe that I had gotten sick there, of all the places, because I've always considered that place, one of the places where they have all kinds of rules for cleanliness. I know they do, because I've worked at one of those places before when I was young, when I was a teenager. The very same place, the same restaurant, and they used to have check-off things every hour. Things had to be done in there, and I'm not sure if people take that serious. I think they just go up there and check it off, even if they didn't do it. It's just the way that some people work because of silent quitting. They do the minimum. If people don't see them, they can go into the bathroom and say, well, I cleaned it, and it might look semi-clean in there, but it might have been used by 10 or 20 people, and it might be pretty filthy still, but this particular place, the bathroom was not totally clean. It just kind of had a funny smell to it, and it wasn't that clean, and the thing is with kids today, and they say this about the U.S., that 60% of the workforce has silently quit their jobs. And by that I mean they show up at work every day, they do the minimal amount of work, and they just show up to get their pay every day, and then sometimes they get what's called silent firing, and that means that they don't get raises anymore. Every year raise time rolls around, they give them like a 1% raise or something, or sometimes zero. Oh, this year we don't have the money. It's kind of telling you, get lost, get out of here. We don't want to work with you anymore. That happens too. But in the Philippines, it seems like they tend to keep these people, because I see the same people at the stores, and I seen one person at a restaurant here in Tracy, and she had screwed up my orders, and they kept saying it was because she's new, they're training her. And I had talked to the manager at this particular restaurant many, many times. And after a year, she still had somebody around her training her. And they had her do my order again. And, I kind of expected that she was going to mess it up. And sure enough, she messed it up. And I went up and told the manager, I says, I think it's time to take her off training and just let her fall on her face and fire her. I says, just to be honest with you, I said, I don't mean to be mean or anything, but I mean, you've trained this girl for a year because she's almost untrainable. I says, she goes on break and you have to retrain her again. I says, how many times do you have to show somebody how to stuff a bag with burgers? You just follow the list and stuff like that. It's not hard, and they would just always screw up my order with something. I'd order a large Coke, they'd give me a small one. I'd order a large fry, they'd give me a small one. I'd order a large hamburger or something that, they'd give me a small one. It's like, it's not hard to figure out. But this is part of living here in the Philippines. And I think it shows when you order food here that the restaurants get things messed up all the time. You try to order things a certain way. You tell somebody on your burger you want certain things or something like that. And they come out and it's just the opposite of what you ordered, or it's not even what you ordered. And then when you say, well, I'm not going to pay for that because I didn't order that. I told you what I wanted. And they'll bring it back, and you don't know what they're doing with it. And sometimes they bring it back, and it's more messed up than it was before. And that's, if you're a picky person here and you lose your temper a lot, you might not want to come over here because a lot of things are going to get messed up over here. It's just a fact of life about living here in the Philippines. As much as I love living in the Philippines, that's one of my pet peeves. I love the Filipino people. I think it's a great place to live, but there's a certain amount of patience that you have to have living over here for some things here, and it's like that in the United States too. There's no difference in the United States. Don't think that, you're trading one mess, for another mess over here or a better place. It's just different here. It's for a different set of reasons that some things are messed up here. Whereas back in the United States, I just think it's totally out of control back there. It's a real mess back there. And like I said one time, you trade things in the United States for different things, you trade problems in the United States for different problems over here. So kind of expect that, don't think that this is paradise over here. A lot of guys, for some reason, when they call me on the phone, they're all excited about coming over here. And they're talking about, oh man, Steve, I'm so excited to get over here. I'm coming Tuesday and I can't wait to get there and live in paradise. It's not paradise. It's a great place, okay? It's a fun place to live, okay? And there are places that are very paradise-like. But when you go to those places have their problems too. Don't think that you're leaving the United States and you're going to live in this idyllic spot with beautiful views and live on a hut on the beach and overlooking these mountains out in the ocean with palm trees and, blue waters and white sand beaches, and think that there's not going to be any problems, because usually in those places, you're far away from all the Western stuff. So you can't get Western goods there. You can't get certain things there. Maybe in like Boracay you probably can, but in other places you might not be able to. But they might have a resort there, and you think, well, if I go to this resort, they're surely going to have American foods. Well, you're probably not going to. Some places will. It depends on how high-end the place is or whatever. And sometimes when Filipinos are trying to find a place, they always go for the cheapest, okay? And sometimes the cheapest, you get what you pay for. And you're going to get low-quality food, probably all Filipino food, no Western foods, in some of these Filipino resorts. Now, there's high-end Filipino resorts and there's low-end Filipino resorts. Huge difference, because some of these places are really bent towards people that are in poverty but want to go on vacation. Okay, it's a very low end vacation, I would call it. And then there's places that are very high end for Western people, and those are what you have to look for. So be sure when you are traveling here, you're getting what you want. Ask them. Ask questions when you're on the phone, booking a hotel or booking a resort around here. A lot of guys go online, they just book it, and a lot of people will put 4 or 5 stars for some of these places because that's what they're used to. You know, they don't know what a 5-star place is. They have no idea what a 5-star hotel is. You know, and for picky people, going to one of these places and not knowing, you're not going to like it, and you're probably going to complain the whole time you're there. And the people that are there are probably going to suffer from your experience because you're going to make it known. As Americans, we usually complain, and we usually complain the loudest. You know, and it's you know, sometimes we have to be aware that that's just the way it is in the Philippines. You know, it's more fun in the Philippines, as they say. You know, but the Philippines is still a beautiful place. It's a fun place. You just have to look and get to know places. And when you know a resort that you like, keep going back there. Keep frequenting that place just because you like it. You know, especially if you're super picky. If you like that place, go there more. I go to Tanza Oasis. I like it there. It's a nice place. It's a nice pool there. It's on the ocean. It's not one of the nicest spots, but their pool is a really, really beautiful spot to, you know, go swimming. They have a bar there with food, and they have everything there. They have Western foods and everything. For me, it's the ideal place to go on a mini vacation around here and just go have fun, you know, because of that. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I hope you got something out of it. God bless, guys. Take care.